I was scrolling through itch.io when I stumbled upon the Boss Rush Game Jam 2025. It's a game making contest where you have a month to make the best boss fights you can. I recently played Hollow Knight and really liked its bosses, so I wanted to see how well I can make one. So I joined the jam. There are big cash rewards, so there were over 8,000 people participating. And for me, it will be my first jam. Well, I did make a jam game a long time ago, but I made it with Scratch in one day, so it doesn't count. Okay, the jam is about to start, and the theme is spin. That was not the theme I expected. At first I wanted to make a cubic world that you move around as it spins, but I figured that's a bit advanced for a 1-month game. And then, I had the most genius idea ever. I will make a game about
gambling!
The player would have a few attacks they can do, but they can't choose which one. Instead, a big shiny spinning wheel will decide for them. I planned out the attacks I want to add and got to work. But first I needed to actually make the player, so I quickly drew a random guy and gave him basic movement. Then I made this spinning animation, and I got to work on the actual attacks. They turned out pretty cool, but we need someone to actually use these attacks on. So I began thinking about the first boss design, and that's when my second genius idea struck. This is the Jam's Discord server, and if we look at the profile of the owner we can clearly see he likes Chainsaw Man. So what if I made someone like Chainsaw Man, but gave them normal spinning saws instead? That would subconsciously make them more likely to pick my game. So that's exactly what I did. He turned out to be more of a robot than a man, but that's fine. Now I just need to give him some attacks and the first boss is playable. I made your attacks only change if you hit the boss, so you can't waste them if you just want one attack. That turned out surprisingly fun to play with. But, notice how the background is looking a bit empty. Let's fix that. I made a simple background. It's not great, but at least it's not ugly either. So, after about 4 days of work the first boss is done. Since we are on a tight deadline here, let's jump right into the second one. I didn't have any idea for the second boss, so I just kinda drew whatever came to my mind, and it turned out to be this flying ball. I'm not sure what the lore behind this game is gonna be, but at least it fits the theme because, you know, it's a ball. It can spin. Then I made another background, and it doesn't fit the futuristic vibe I wanted to go for, but whatever, I don't care. This is a boss rush game jam, not a background game jam. Then I made the attacks for this boss. They turned out pretty basic cause it just shoots stuff and bombs, but I think it fits. By the way, these beautiful explosions that you're seeing aren't mine. They were made by Cartoon Coffee. They're a sponsor of this jam, and they made a free pack of effects for people to use. So I'm obviously using them a lot, because I cannot draw. Alright, we have 2 playable bosses and more than half of the time left. Before starting the third boss there is one important thing I want to make. Right now there's no way to navigate between the bosses, so we need a main menu. I lost the footage of making it, but man I love how it looks a lot. I didn't bother with settings or anything like that, because nobody will play this for more than 10 minutes anyway. Also I'm so proud of the logo. Maybe I'm not that bad at drawing after all. Okay, the jam is almost halfway done, so I have to pick up the pace if I want 4 bosses. For the next fight I want to make a cool sunset fight with a samurai. But I obviously cannot draw, so this guy doesn't look like a samurai at all. He looks like he's gonna go surfing or something. Then I made the background, and it turned out actually good. If you can't draw like me, I recommend using online color palettes. They make everything so beautiful. And then came the worst part of drawing every boss, the normal maps. Normal maps are special images that determine how a 2D image reacts to light. They're pretty annoying to do, but make the art look 10 times better in the end. And this boss turned out to have a lot of animation frames, so I had to draw a normal map for everyone. Now it's time for his attacks. Despite using a sword, this boss actually has more ranged attacks than the previous ones. He also moves and teleports around a lot, so he's pretty hard to catch. Now, we have just enough time to squeeze in one more boss. Do you know what this game needs? That's right, a badass fire dragon. Just look at this guy, he's so cute. This was the easiest boss to draw, because he's basically a white outline with colors inside, and I think it works pretty well. For the background of this boss I went with a factory theme. I don't know how that fits a fire dragon boss, but who cares. Then just some simple attacks and it's done. This is by far the hardest boss, but since it's the last one I decided to not hold back. By the way, I didn't explain these things on the map yet. These blocks are in every arena, and just like the wheel, they spin every time you attack a boss. Is it fun? No. But it's there to make my game fit the theme even more. Alright, all the bosses are looking very good, but do you hear how quiet it is? Yeah, there's no music in the game. So I hit up my friend It's Memes and said, you will make songs for my game. If we win we get money. And he said, we ain't winning. Then he cooked up 4 tracks for the game. You've been hearing them throughout the video. Okay, now the game is done. I'm praying there aren't any bugs, because I don't have time for playtesting. The jam ended, meaning I cannot update the game anymore. And there turned out to be a lot of bugs which are so bad I won't even talk about them. But, hopefully I will still make it. Now we have to wait for the results. After a lot of waiting, the results are finally out. And you won't believe what happened. I actually got place number 1. 123. Yeah, not the best. Honestly I expected better, but that was just me being delusional. There were a lot of great games, especially the winner. So, my placement is well deserved. And while I did not win anything, I still learnt a lot and had a ton of fun. Out of almost 900 entries I'm in the top 15%. So I can't complain. Alright, this is it. Make sure to subscribe, because I probably won't upload for 3 months again. Also check out the boss rush jam and other links in the description. Bye.